All right, guys, this is take two. You don't know this, but I tried to make this recording the other day ago and it did not go the way I wanted. So, this is a look into what I do for chess lessons for my students. I was going to have one today, but got canceled, I'll just say. So, I want to show you guys what I do for my students, both the ones I do privately, but also ones I try to do through a company I do work for. You can go to my chess.com profile to see what I'm talking about, of course. So I thought that today, since I was going to have a lesson in what, 23 minutes, that I was going to, do like a little walkthrough, if you will, and I was going to like be my own student, if you will, and show you guys kind of how I start a lesson, what I do during a lesson, and then what we do afterwards once the game's done. Typically on Thursdays, I do this kind of thing, but since on Tuesday, we may as well play a game, guys, as well. Not this person right here. So real quick though, so how I do my lessons is we do a little introduction where we kind of get warmed up, then we play a game or look at positions or analyze stuff and whatnot, and then afterwards we analyze the game we played and stuff like that as well. That's kind of how we roll. And the main thing, guys, too, regardless of what you're trying to do with chess, you do want to try and learn new content, practice that content, and fix any mistakes as well. That's going to be our goal, guys, for today. So let me go ahead and get myself ready. So we'll start with two things I like to use, which is I do like Puzzle Rush for the most part. I haven't been paying about chess.com, but I'll share that later. But for what it's worth, and there's a yearly subscription, of course, right? But for what it's worth, it is worth our time to use this as a warm-up, if you will. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it to 3 minutes right here. And we'll see if we can get above 26 right here. The main thing, guys, I like to do with Puzzle Rush is I like to make sure I know my opponent's next move. So before I play my move, I'm gonna make sure I guess correctly what my opponent would do in that situation. It'll make more sense when I get started. So let me just make a small little change to the board, guys, real quick. Well, not the board. You guys can't see this, but I gotta hide these meeting controls right here because sometimes it gets in my way. All right, let's go ahead and play. White to move, back rank checkmate, queen e8's the only thing they could do, or block with the bishop, whatever. Take the rook, back rank checkmate. Black to move here. We're just gonna promote our pawn and we get there first, it seems like. If it wasn't the case, then of course we'll be losing right here. Rook b8, rook blocks, and rook takes on c8's mate because of the pawn on e6 right there. Rook takes on h2, and because of the pawn on h5 guarding g4 is mate in one. Mate in one on g7. I'll try to keep the main ones kind of straight to the point. Queen takes on f7, and when the king goes in the corner, queen f8's mate. Well, the puzzles are going further than that. Knight h3. So one thing, guys, that I'm doing here, by the way, is I'm checking to make sure that the checks in our position actually do something. Because sometimes you're given a position where the checks don't really do much. Like right here, for instance, you got queen f4 and queen takes on g6 right here. Which one's better? If you say queen takes on g6, you're right. Queen takes on g6, king e8, and then queen g8's mate. Boom, boom, boom. This would go that much further. Right here, queen f4. The rook guards retreat square right here, so we can attack the king up front with g6, followed by rook h4 mate. If I can say the words guys correctly, of course. Main one on h2. Uh, this one's gonna be queen c. Sorry, not c. Queen g3, and then queen f3, and then queen g4. I'm trying to like not look at the coordinates as well. Boom, boom, boom. So what that means is I'm trying to now look at the coordinates while I'm trying to analyze. Queen c8. The queen has a block, and we take the queen of our rook next. Easy peasy. Bishop to f4 right here. pin to queen to the king. We got a triple stack, as some YouTubers will call this right here. So queen f2 is going to be lights out pretty soon. We got 30 seconds left. All right, whatever. Queen takes on g6 is what I'm thinking here. The one thing I try to do, guys, is I don't make a move until I know for sure what the answer is going to be. It doesn't matter if I'm about to run out of time. What matters is that I am going through what we should be doing in our games, which is knowing for sure if this is going to work or not. Uh, I might not be able to get this in time, guys, which is fine. Yeah, well, we'll still solve it, guys, real quick though. So yeah, because that's one thing. I mean, like you get value out these warm-ups if you actually treat them as, like the real game, which is you're given a situation, and before you make a move, you have to be able to, in your mind, as best as you can, figure out the solution, of course. And if you can't, it just means you need to slow down and kind of think about what you're missing here. I thought it was queen takes on g6 right here. It's because the rook on d1 controls the d file, and the king only has but so many options to escape the check. King f8. I was stuck on queen f7. So like if we take right here, guys, for those who can't visualize, right? So I wasn't really sure about that move right there. Essentially, oh, I see. If the queen does block, we take the queen with check on f7, king takes a f7, and then rook d7 check wins the bishop on b7. Now, if they don't block with the queen, let's say king f8, uh, then we gotta do more thinking, of course. uh, Gosh darn, this had to be this complicated, folks. Well, it's not enough to be up a pawn here, guys, because our king's kind of weak. So in this kind of situation, being up a pawn here is not really compensation. In fact, we only open another file for the rooks. In this case, a rook on this side of the board right here to me attack one day towards our king. So it's not something to brag about being up a pawn right here. So let's keep thinking for a second. Queen takes on g6, king f8. Are there any other checks in that position or captures we should be noteworthy or attacks right here? I don't see it. And there's no Rick D7, because the queen could just take that, say, thank you very much for your donation. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. You would think that queen takes on e5 would not work, but I had to think about that for a second as well. I don't think it's going to work here, guys. So king f8. We do have queen f5 checking that position. But again, if the king just runs to g8, what do we really accomplish there, guys? Nothing much. And this might be one of those puzzles. I have a sneaky suspicion I know what's going to happen if I do play queen takes on g6, but I'm not going to share my 2 cents until after I have exhausted all of my options right here, essentially. Queen takes on g6. Is there anything else here, guys, besides that? I mean, by the way, our queen's under attack. I should have made a start with that, but and that's something too. That's something I really need to work on for myself is it's not just, hey, I want to attack Ooga Booga, right? It's understanding that my opponent has their own threats. I should spot the fact that the queen was under attack right here. So it's not like we could just, you know, toodaloo and just do something else right here, essentially. You have to be mindful and deliberate about our response right here. So it has to be queen takes on g6. Every other queen move doesn't do anything substantial like to make it a puzzle essentially, and that is one of the drawbacks, guys, of doing puzzles like this is that there's a solution, so you could just brute force and just kind of figure out, all right, well, if I know this answer here that's going to be at least winning if not good for white, what's that answer? It's going to be queen takes on g6. Let's go ahead and go here. Wow, all this work for a 900 rated puzzle. I could never. All right. So I am gonna share something, guys, in 1 second. So of course I'm gonna follow through. So queen takes Work here, guys, is the answer, of course. I wonder what the people say in the chat real quick. No one. So we gotta go to analysis real quick. If you ever get stuck, guys, this is where chess can be a test, if you will. So if you ever get stuck, you need to go and see what you can learn from this experience. Black's winning here, guys, if they just castle, by the way, which a lot of times these puzzles at chess.com and lead chess like to give you guys, it's assuming your opponent makes a mistake in a lot of situations, especially the early puzzles. Um, when you get into the more advanced ones, then the puzzles are going to try to look for ways where you might make a mistake. That means if you don't choose the right defense or check whatever, if you're given two clear options, which one do you pick and whatnot, right? Here they should have castled, but anyway, puzzle's going puzzle. Queen takes on g6 right here. It's winning, but here's my thing though. Yeah, King f8. I wasn't sure what to do there. It says plus 6.68. But I'm still not convinced though. I mean, unless I'm missing some kind of obvious tactic right here. And I didn't even look on that side of board guys right there to see the other part of the answer. So let's see if I can guess this correctly. So apparently King F8 is downright losing. Is it a quiet move here, like some kind of rook lift to like maybe attack the king, whatever, whatever, whatever? I don't see this working here, guys, because the bishop covers. So it's not that is what I'm trying to say. There's really no knight move that's really looking scary because again, we're not castle here, folks. Could it be that we just castle here and say, "Hey, yo," that might have been the answer here, guys. It's just this castle. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. You know, one of my chess students, I'll give this person some credit. I'm not gonna say their name, of course, but when he does puzzles, he always asks the question, in this position, can I castle? And this is one of those cases right there. I swore that either Queen F5, right, trying to attack some loose stuff, if you will, but it's not really all that convincing. But after castles, it's a different story. The king has no moves, the queen moves, doesn't really matter because we have a knight scurry right here, guys, essentially winning something. The attack continues essentially, and you know, if I had time, guys, this is one thing I do like to do, which is if I find a position like this where the conclusion is not conclusive. That means, hey, um, the puzzle should have kept going. Like it should have been like this should have been the solution right here, which is castles, because it does set up this nice discovery with the knight right here and the rook on the f file. I mean, it would have been a more satisfactory answer than it just saying oops, queen blocks, and it's just a really simple exercise, of course. But that's the thing though, so I don't want to ramble about this too much, but I will say guys that this is one of the shortcomings of online puzzles. My book's not here. Dang it. Well, you should own guys some real chess books, but that's besides the point. Alright, let's go ahead and play you guys a game. That's what you guys are here for, right? Let's see if I don't embarrass myself. So like I said earlier, I did do another recording, but I'm not gonna lie, I lost like 3 games back to back to back. I was like, I'm not gonna post this on YouTube. I mean, I want to be modest here, but I can't be that modest and humble. Come on, people. I played a game today. If I have time later, I'll show you guys that game. But basically, though, after the warm up, after I've done that right there, essentially, then I do watch my student play a game. The instructions are they mute their audio. Well, they mute the audio to the Zoom call and they will play their game and I get to talk out loud on the recording like I'm doing right now about the game, and then afterwards we check to see how the person did or whatnot with the analysis. But I'll show you guys that later, of course. Let's go ahead and get started, of course. My goal, by the way, is to get up to 2200, and this bro right here has a well, I'm not gonna talk about this. All right, person. I like to hide my opponent's rating because I like to just play. They're playing this sideline right here, so I'm just gonna kind of what do you call it? I'm gonna try and how should you say make a stick in the center essentially. And I do give them d4, but I don't think it's really be that big of a deal, guys. Of course, let's play here just so there's no easy bishop nonsense. All right, we'll be going for this pretty soon. Can we play f4 here and just kind of say you're not going to have what you want here? Basically, is f4 being a little bit too ambitious right here, folks? It's worth to pause here for a second because this is a really offbeat opening. Because f4 does help us later in the game. I think I am going to play it, guys. It does allow bishop d4, but we do have knight f3, so it's not that scary. All right, well, we got to play our hombre here, guys, essentially, so that makes sense. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I did in my first recording, which is talk too much. In my first recording, like I felt the need to talk every 10 seconds, and that just took away from my attention from the board. So if it's my opponent's time to think, I'm just gonna talk then. If it's my turn, like right now, but my next move has to be pretty simple. It's just gonna castle. They're gonna try to go for this. I might want to stop that idea by playing a4, a4, b5. We take, they take. We take with the bishop. All right. It might be worth a second here to stop a b5 here, stop their plans first. All right. So I'm expecting them to try go for e5 at some point. They might try to play their rook to or that move right there. Try to play slow. All right, I can get the castle here, of course. And this is what I'm going to think for a second because I'm thinking about. I know in these kinds of positions, f5 is a move I want to play here eventually. It's just a matter of when, though. I also want to get my rook off of the a file because of the bishop right here. This guy's a bad man, as I like to say sometimes. So I don't think I have to rush f5 because if I trade, then it's not gonna really help my calls that much. And I like my position, so I mean, it's no need to rush here, guys. Essentially, I can also play here bishop to e3, maybe pawn here first, and then play here next. Is my intention. All right. My opponent's not recording their lesson. I am, so I'm gonna have to be a little more mindful about my time. I want to play this first. Not allow knight here nonsense attack my bishop, so I could play there next. So let's go here, guys. And now it's just a matter of just waiting to see what my opponent does. Because really, I mean, it's gonna be a slow approach of just giving my pieces a good squares, and then one day going for f5. All right, so now they're going for this. I can push. I don't want to keep drawing arrows, and then push here and have a pass pawn. Let's gotta make sure this with tempo. Then they has to move. The only drawback with that move is that they might take here, but then again, I'm on this at the end, and then I could play, bishop here to protect the pawn. So I think that does work here, folks. I think this is a little bit premature. So let's go ahead and attack the center, guys. They gotta retreat or do something. Right, so they don't retreat. We could take here and give them isolate pawn, but I think that's a little bit too advanced for us, guys, for today. Let's just attack this right here. I do know, I just realized this, that yeah, they can go there. Actually, it's almost traps the piece right here, but doesn't. We could gain some time on their pieces right here, folks. I didn't, well, I was expecting this move right here, to be honest. Just going backwards, I guess, for a second there. I'm thinking about bishop g5 right here. I'm not really concerned about this move. Just gain some tempo. See how they respond to that move right there, essentially. maybe here next after that. Because I am threatening if they don't respond accordingly right here, guys. I am threatening right here. Yeah, see that move though. I mean, okay, so you got to calculate for a second. We could play pawn takes on e6, pawn takes on g5, and we get past pawn. Life's good. Because we're attacking the knight, and if they move their knight, then, we can take the queen and take on that square. We gotta move faster, too. We're on this. They could take here. We could take back. They could take here. Our knight can hop into that sky. I really feel like this is a move here, guys. Essentially, I know it's kind of scary, but sometimes we're gonna have to just trust. So they're forced now to do something right here, essentially. So I'm gonna put the ball back in their court, essentially, right here. Not to mention the fact that if we, all right, so they do take there. All right, so their knight's basically dead. Of course, we're gonna take here, broskies. We don't want trade queens. They have this move right here, if they really want to, of course. Maybe I don't care. Maybe I just say, hey, yo, take my rook because he is not the bestest of the best in this situation right here. We gotta go faster. We might be able to just ignore this threat, guys, for a second. Uh, because I do want to protect. Well, I guess I should maybe think about boom, boom, boom. No, no, sorry. This right here. Basically, I'm thinking about this move right here and just saying boom, boom, boom right here, essentially, is what I'm thinking here, guys. Because the rook right there is looking kind of trapped. So takes, bishop takes, rook takes, pawn takes. You know what, guys? We don't play chess. I'm going for this. I'm going for this. I'm gonna go for this right here. This is protected. There's no bishop takes your first nonsense, so and they could get the exchange, but I don't think it's gonna be worth their time here, guys. Yeah, see, I don't think it's worth their time right here, essentially. Because these pawns right here are no joke. And they can't never take here because my bishop becomes alive here, guys, essentially. So even though it looks like they have a really good position, whatnot, the pawns here, guys, are no joke. So, and they can't so quickly just like, they could play here, I guess. So I gotta be a little bit mindful about that, of course. Even so, like, I could chase the piece away. They could take, but I could take with check, of course, right here. Yeah, I really think that this position is going to be pretty playable, even though it looks like, what are you doing, Coach Morton? What are you doing, man? Yeah, because they do have Rook F6. That's the only brain on my parade, essentially, right here. I wonder if I could just push through. Like, let's say I push here, they go here, I push here, they take this, and I go here, check, specifically. Takes. We get a lot of traits right there, folks. I think that, all right, so they go there. All right, we can gain, okay, so bishop here, can they just take and then take here nonsense? I don't want them to take my pawn. He is a good man. That move, do we care about that move, guys? I guess we do. I guess we do care about that move. I didn't really see that idea, to be honest. We can't push immediately, of course. I'm not sure why I'm whispering, but you know. Our pawns are bad people, so we need to protect them as such. I want to protect this guy right here. I mean, of course, he is the person right here, essentially. I guess I could go here and here, right? This is our plan. I wish I could think there a little bit longer, but I really couldn't. They can always block the pawns here too. That's kind of the annoying thing. Yeah, I'm just thinking ahead a little bit about this stuff right here. And my pawn gets there, and then my pawns are just monsters at that point. And at any point, guys, if they okay, so they want to play it this way essentially. Fair point. All right, we gotta remove this blockader. He is a, I like to keep saying, guys, a bad man, but that's basically it boils down to you guys right here, essentially. He is a bad man, as I like to say. We do have rook, sorry, not rook. We do have pawn here if we want to at some point. And this rook is looking kind of strong on squares. In fact, I think the bishop has to do something here, folks. We don't have much time to think about this, folks. I think this might seem a little counterproductive or counterintuitive right here, folks, but I do think I want to give up the F file so I can play here next. It's my plan. I want them to take me because I want the pawn to take back. That's obviously the point here, guys. They had the three pawns. Yeah, but this that was my goal, guys, right here. Because I didn't want the rook trade if I had to move my piece right here, essentially, and I want to be able to hop here next and say bye bye, bozo, bye bye, peace. It's probably not that intense, but you get the point. This is what I was hoping for. Now, this is a threat, guys, right here. This guy, he is a, as I like to say, guys, in chess, this is my move. All right, so this is a flying. Do we care about it, though? I don't think we do, guys, personally. We could take with the knight, right? But I want to leave open the option to go here next, I guess. This is coming, most likely. Rook in the corner, sorry, king in the corner, and just kind of say, hey, yo, don't hurt me. That move is not that convincing. We could take a second pawn right here, but I don't think that's what's happening here, Chief. Let's go here. My knight is a monster and a half right here, essentially. They could go here, check. I guess I could take here though, like that's like really wild. Pawn takes, knight takes, and then the Volkaruski. Oh man. Takes. Cause like what are they gonna do with the queen? And then like, I could take here and then push and push. Oh my gosh. Cause I'm still on the queen. Oh man, because they gotta move their queen, folks. And then the funny thing is, all right, so they went there, whatever. Yeah, the funny thing is now the pawns don't want to go here immediately though. That's the thing. Let's take a let's take another pawn because we could push and then push a second time right here. That's the goal. Look at this. But I'm low on time. Yeah. All right. Uh, yeah, sure. Let's go here, guys. Push our pawns. We have 30 seconds. That's enough time. Come on, mouse. Don't my mouse sometimes wants to how should I say uh betray me. But yeah, this is crushing at this point. But I say that, people, but you know, we guys still gotta win this thing, of course, right here, right? You think my ombre is gonna like let me win this guys right here essentially? That'd be really nice. Sure. Just make sure they can't take this pawn right here though. That is yeah. We probably have some kind of way to win here that we're not seeing immediately, but you know, we're the ones short on time right here, folks. So we gotta make use of a course right here. Blah 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 blah. Here. Here, just kind of keep things squeaky clean. And then behind the pawn. Kill all the pawns. Come on, man. Do it this way. I mean, I can make a, well, you get the point, people. I could probably do king and queen checkmate right here, but we're not going to go that far. All right, there you go. We had to worry about these stalemate tricks. Oh my gosh. I mean, good things, man, but you got me sweating right here. Make me doubt myself. Blah, blah, blah. Uh, pop, guys, by the way. We got a time waster here, guys. I mean, hey, he has to, like, you know, what do you call it? Like this game right here, essentially. So we're not gonna be disrespectful. A win's a win, guys, and we did it the right kind of way. So I wonder what our opponent. All right, they were 2100. Nice eye. You found a tactic to grow your lead into a win. Good, 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 good. So of course, I really wish I could have uploaded those three losses. That was painful. Oh my gosh! Like when I had every intention to post those three losses online, but I was just like, you're like lose a game so badly, you just didn't want to talk to no one afterwards. I was like those games essentially right there. Yeah. So, um, yeah, the outcome, guys, does not matter. What matters is that did we play well in the game? Because like, let's say this person won because I flagged, or let's say I won because they has some technology issue. It doesn't matter about the outcome, guys. All that matters is that we are playing well, making good decisions, use our time wisely, right? Calculate, we need to calculate, and all that good stuff. That's what really matters. As the late Kobe Bryant would say, the process matters more than the outcome and stuff. So let's go ahead and do this, guys, real quick. This is what I typically do, by the way. 1 second. Yeah, all right, there it goes. This is what I typically do, by the way, once the game's done. So, of course, while my students are playing, I'm, talking about all this and stuff like that. And once it's done, I immediately have them write down what they were thinking at key moments. So, we're going to do that right now. Uh, we're going to do this right now, but I want to just add this game over here. Let's see. Right here. I know it's not early 2025 no more, but it's gonna be a good spot, guys, right now, of course. Let's go to our library. hmm And I'd like to give these kinds of games, guys, my yeah, this one right here was a good game, by the way. My best rapping whatever. That's no exaggeration, by the way. If this video gets like um at least 50 views and 10 likes, I will go over, guys, my best rapid whenever, guaranteed. If you guys made this far, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Encourage me to make more videos. You know the jazz. I want to name this guy something. Uh, my hombres. The three pass pawns. Yeah, I mean seriously though. I mean this game right here is definitely a good example of why it's so important not just to take the relative value of pieces for granted that pawns are worth 1 point and blah blah blah, right? It's all about activity, guys. In games like this, if you just play like with that attitude, you're missing a lot of the beauty and mastery about chess essentially right there. So let's go ahead and analyze this real quick before we ramble for too long, of course. Our man's from Sudan. What's up, my man? I hope you are doing well, of course. All right, so this is what I do, guys, for my students. I have them go through the whole game without the analysis, of course, and they share all their thoughts at every key moment. And there's no detail that should be missed here because the whole point here, guys, is to learn and to see what you do miss when the analysis is turned on. Essentially, um, oops, my bad. I want to go back for a second. Oh my gosh. So for context, I recorded this game for YouTube for oh my gosh. Here is the link. Yeah, so eventually when I get the link, guys, I'll put it here, of course. I'll try to keep it straight point, guys, right here. I know you guys might, want to see how I did and whatnot, but you in for a ride, guys, right here, of course. I don't see this move that often, so I will check. for more information. Yeah, so because like at this rating range, guys, I mean people are trying different things out to see if it works. So I'm not sure what G6 is right here. I took the center. Yeah, so I want to mention right here. So uh played here. Stop the bishop G4 pin. Yeah. I mean that's why I play there, guys, essentially. So we'll see if that's the best move there or not in that situation. Knight D7. So I thought here, this is one of my long things, guys, right here, essentially. So I thought, not sure what that sound was. I thought here for some time about whether move 6 F4 was overextending or not. I figured that getting this pawn into the game and while also giving my knight and later my rook activity would make this move worth it. Because the drawback, guys, is that you're weakening your dark squares right here, essentially. Namely, this diagonal right here. So in the game, my opponent never really played a move that kind of threatened me on the dark squares, guys, right here, essentially. But I have lost games. I used to play the Grand Prix against the Sicilian. In that open, I used to get punished if I didn't control D4 right here. But I figured that if I play knight f3, it's not gonna be a big deal. So light was on. Knight here. Of course, gotta protect the pawn here, of course. Uh, A6. My opponent should have looked to play on this side of the board because pretty soon I got a lot of activity in the center. Yeah, so anytime, guys, your opponent's playing in the center, you gotta pick a side of board to play on. Their pawn structure, guys, points this direction right here, essentially. So it does stand a reason that they should try to get this in at some point. That's the best of my knowledge, guys, right there. Because their bishop right here is already a beast on this diagonal right here, essentially. So if you could somehow make guys this work right here in a dream world, then you're doing pretty good here as black. Otherwise, this is coming here, guys, eventually, right? But hey, hindsight's 2020, right? So H3. I played this as a waiting move and to give my bishop the E3 home without any knight G4 nonsense. Yeah, so that's why I play that move, guys, right there, essentially. Just kind of see what they're going to do right here. Uh, I think E6 right here, guys, is a mistake, personally, or at least it's a dubious move. It's a dubious move because white has more than enough presence in the center. Oops. If I could spell. Oh my gosh. Presence in the center to do stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a guy I follow called National Master Dan Heisman. He will call his hand waving right here, where you're not really sure. I call it dubious because I'm really not sure if they should play this right here or not. Because I honestly thought that in the game that just pushing E5 here was good for me. So I thought in the game that pushing e5 would benefit me in the long term. I was hoping for a passed D pawn if it went my way. Of course, it doesn't. And yeah, hand wavy guys is when you just say in general, hey, this move right here kind of sucks, but without any concrete analysis, of course. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like doing it right now. So we're just gonna have to leave it there, guys. Essentially, E5 happened in between move right here. I won't call this move right here, guys. This right here. Speculative. I figured that it was worth my time to take this center pawn, though, to be honest, on a surface look, opening the center might benefit Black more since they have the two fee and kettle bishops. And this is me, guys, just hand wavy as well. I don't know. I mean, it looked good to me in the game. It does open up the bishop right here, guys, to do some business, but I felt like in the game that this was the way to go, to gain the initiative and whatnot, right? So I was willing to take that risk right there. And this took me a while, guys, right here to make that move right here. Essentially, it took me almost a minute. So I was willing to take the risk for the dynamic possibilities of having a pawn so far into Black's position. Was it a weakness or an asset? And that's the question, guys, right here, essentially. Is this pawn, are these pawns going to be, like in the game, it turned out to be, good, right? But in reality, it might have turned out differently, of course. Takes. I didn't want to take with the queen. I want to keep the queens on the board, of course. And then right here, so queen d6, of course, was the move right here, guys. Of course, I'm down on time, but I really believed in the power of my two past center pawns, even if it meant being down the exchange for a bit. Yeah, I mean, they could take on E2 if they want to or whatever, but of course, it's took material. It's understandable, of course. So now I am technically down the exchange right here. Just a pawn, but still. And I gotta prove that these pawns right here, guys, is gonna be dangerous, of course. They went here. I pushed my pawn. They went there. I didn't expect this move. It makes sense since they want to blockade on the dark squares. Yeah, so did expect that new guys right here to be honest, but queen d3, bishop there, they're blockading. Not the best piece in the world, but you could get that piece going pretty soon, of course. Yeah, I played here, by the way. So, uh, I played here. So when I played g4 and then knight e5, I didn't have to trade rooks. I wanted my last rook behind my pawns. Because obviously, at this point in the game, guys, I'm trying to get these pawns going right here. That's kind of my point. Rook a7. We kick the rook from his perch. We put out our knight guys in the center, so he is doing some good business, of course. Of course, pawn takes is the idea. We try and go here. Sorry. D6 and E7 guys right here to do some bad stuff, of course, right here, and blah blah blah, or just to go here, right? Knight C6. They went there. I took the pawn. They went there. I hop into the center, and this is where they made the oopsie. Yes, so queen takes on C5 is a really nice move. I don't see a way from the get out this, by the way. And if they do move their queen, guys, by the way, there's always queen takes rook right here as well. So, like, these pawns right here, guys, are going to make it through. You can even sacrifice the queen. Like, let's say they take with the queen right here. Let's just say there's no checks. Well, actually, there's. Oh, no, 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 no. There's no checks right here. Because, like, if they move their queen, let's say here, I take this. Let's say take with the queen. On F8 right here, essentially, I could push the pawn. And the two pawns are just too beastly. They're going to be pushed through right there, essentially, on their own, with the help of the knight, of course. Right here, of course. Takes, takes, takes. I took this because I had to make sure this was going to push through right here. I didn't want to just go here immediately. Uh, I mean, I guess I could, technically speaking, right? Well, I took a pawn here, guys. A pawn's a pawn, right? Of course, I took the rook right there. And it's just a matter of, guys, a technique right here, essentially. Blah, 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 blah. I wonder if could have gone check right here. I wonder, but whatever. It's all winning here, guys. It's all winning. This is more important pawn right here to keep, of course, with check. And of course, we got the jump down, guys, right here, essentially, from there. All right, let's go ahead and hit the review, guys, real quick. I think for the most part right here, guys, I hit all my points. If I had more time to talk about this with a real coach, I would, but whatever. The modern defense, Sandy learn my openings more, but whatever. All right, let's go. All right, 85%. It's not bad. We had one miss, one brilliant move. I had a student ask me about this, by the way. They asked me, how often do you get these brilliancies? It seems like every other game, it seems like I'm not trying to brag, but it does seem that way sometimes. One great move, and I played like a 2300. Let's go. That's actually so this right here. So this is something Mr. I've been doing, guys, myself. Just real quick. If we go back here real fast. When I play bots, by the way, so when I do my practice games and whatnot, so what I mean by practice games, so like if I'm trying to fix like how I play the opening or how I play the middle game, I pick a bot level. And I try to pick a bot level that gives me a challenge. This is how you know, guys, what to pick in terms of a bot level. If you do know that on average you play like around 2400 in your best games, you should pick a bot level that represents that essentially to give yourself a real challenge. I like to use this guy right here, and not just because he's my first name, it's because he's 2400 as well. But yeah, I like to use this guy right here, not from beginning the game because I'm not gonna play like a 2400 guys the whole game. It's just in key moments where I want to make sure that I'm playing like the best moves, best ideas, right, and whatnot. So I am going to use this guy later, most likely for some more practice. They play the end game accurately. That's whatever computer, whatever computer. You miss an opportunity to deliver a knife of a starting square. All right, so I guess it does not like smooth guys right here. Essentially, oh, it wants knight c3. Knight c3. Whatever computer. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna check that 1 second later. Uh, sometimes I'll check it right now actually because it really does um make me mad. Just to put it politely, of course. If I go here, guys, real quick, knight d7 is a mistake. Knight f6 was better. Let's give it some time to think right here. H3, A4, knight f3. I like my move here, guys, essentially. I know it's not as good. Yeah, B5 right here. This is what I mean, by the way, too, right here. So they should have immediately had gone on that side board. So yeah, now I see the point because I can't play this move because it hangs rook right here essentially. So this is why knight c3 was better because of that reason right there essentially. That makes sense. Well, this was their moment to had gone that side of the board essentially, but neither of us really thought about that move guys right there essentially. But it's something for me to think about as well. Not just to think about my own ideas, but also to play here first. Maybe here first, guys, and then f4 was the idea. Or not. Or not. I mean, I don't see it right here anywhere but f4. Well, f4 right here. So in this position, you could play f4 right here essentially with perfect play. So it is an idea. It just happens much, much, much later after more development right here essentially. All right, fair point. Now we know. Now we know. Yep, just to stop the queen side expansion here, guys, essentially. So good, 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 good. Yes, so I figured this move right here, guys, was a mistake. So get to see that, of course. What should I play here instead? Let's just see real quick. And this is what I mean, guys, as well. So when I do my own training and whatnot, it's important. It's just as important to think for your opponent and what they should be doing in the position and not just for yourself to create a pawn chain. It's not talking about h5 here. That makes no sense. Is it talking about b5 here? B5, either C or A takes on b5. I guess it's because my rook in the corner is not protected for a moment. So this is their chance right now to kind of break on that side board essentially right there. All right, fair point. This will be a really good position to practice and kind of learn more about pawn structures and pawn breaks and that kind of stuff, guys, later, of course. But right now, I don't have time. You guys don't have time either. Yes, my opponent didn't really play his guys well right here, and neither did I. I missed an opportunity to tactically win a pawn here. I mean, I see. Oops, 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 oops. Queen takes on d6. Come on, man. Well, we're not perfect here, guys. We're not perfect. Mm. Is it takes to have it? Well, man, it cannot be this move right here. It cannot be d6 here because this kind of hangs right here, of course, right? It's not g4 because of knight g3. F2 is kind of slow because, this still hangs here, guys, essentially. Hot dog. Nope. Oh. Eh. All right, so I guess the computer really does think that this move right here, guys, was the idea I should have gone for right here, essentially. I didn't think it was that good, like, to try go for the knight, because the knight right there on the side of the board is kind of dumb. And I really did thought, guys, that my pawn center was the way to go right here, essentially. So I felt like in the game, I didn't voice this out loud, most likely. Or if I did, I don't remember it. But basically, I didn't think that, because, like, the bishop can move, let's just say, right? And I guess with perfect play, maybe that's good for me in the long term. But I just thought that this was a, I know. Again, go back to the Grand Prix attack in the Sicilian. I know that Queen E1 is a common maneuver in that opening. I just didn't think it was. It didn't even cross my mind to be honest. I didn't. Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind right here. But anyway, I like that move right here. Threatening to win material. So I guess I gotta make a knight move right here, essentially, is what you're trying to say. I don't know, man. I mean, oh, queen here. No. Queen takes. Whatever. All right, so yes. Yeah, okay, good. This is the only thing I care about, guys, right here. Queen D6 was a brilliancy right here. That was good to see. Yes. That's the only thing I care about. I mean, I know the computer earlier was saying that I should have gone for that knight, but this is right here, guys. I mean, not just that move right here, but also just believe in my idea right here. Essentially, my two pawns right here being the goats that they are, the hombres, as I said, the two hombres were not the three hombres just yet, of course, right? So I knew it. They had a better way to win material right here through a tactic. Um, I don't see it. This wins material. Show me. That's a wild position right there. Well, guys, we don't have time right now to go over all these little details, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the rest of the game, guys, goes as follows. I know you're probably saying, we know you're gonna win the game. We don't need to see the whole thing, but I can't pause this once it starts. I can't pause it. All right. So that's if I had enough time, guys. My lesson right now is 8:08. I think I've been talking for long enough. Before I go, though, I want to show you guys one more little tool I like to use if I do have time, of course. But yeah, that's basically what I do, guys, right there. I make sure to write down my thoughts. I check the engine. For the most part, aside from the start of the game, by the way, right here, when I played F4, right here. Uh, and aside from the missing B5, right here as well, I think for the most part I did pretty well in this game right here. There was not a lot of opportunities for my opponent to kind of fight back aside from those tactics the computer found, but I'm not playing a grandmaster. I'm playing some guy who's, online, of course, right? So, I think I did pretty good, but I want you guys one more thing before I go real quick, which is right here. I like to use Lichess's analysis because of this one feature, not just this one feature, but other features as well, which is the opening explorer. So one thing I'm trying to learn, guys, is how to play against not just, well, against my typical opponents, which typically, guys, is around 2,000, 2,500 right here, essentially, give or take. I need to elite 2,000, to be honest, but that's besides the point. Anyway, so real quick, we're just gonna go through the game, guys, real fast right here. I mean, well, I can just copy over. Oh my gosh, 1 second. The best quality, guys, for the best viewers, right? Right, real quick. You might be saying, what's the point? You just analyze the game on chess.com. Why do you analyze on Lead Chess? Because Lead Chess is opening explores a lot better than chess.com's, to be honest. All right, it's real quick. No analysis, of course. So how often does G6 play here? It gets play at the master level a bit, but not that much, guys, against E4. But it's a tricky move, though. I mean, I do see, like, I am gonna be going to some tournaments pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure G6 is gonna be one of those moves they might try to, like, get you a book and whatnot. At the Yeah, G6 is not even one of the top moves right here. Essentially, it's a different pawn moves essentially right here. But anyway, G6. Of course, I played D4. Obvious. Of course, Bishop G7 right here. C4, I play. It's not the most common move. Knight C3 is better. F3. Yeah, Knight C3. Yes, I guess, this idea here, guys, right here, you know, putting pressure on the queen side is something to stop black from doing essentially right here. So maybe going C4. I mean, C4 is the third best move right here and gives white a pretty good win ratio right here, essentially on par with the top move as well. The computer also, gives it its blessing as well. It's the third best move right here by the computer. So it's a good move, all things considered. Taking the center, guys, is never a bad thing unless you overextend, of course. So I play C4 right here. My opponent plays C5, which is the second most common move on Lead Chess. At the master level, yep. Engine, it's not even one of the top moves right here. It doesn't particularly like C5 right here. It's probably like one of the top six or whatever moves is whatever. It's playable. Of course, D5. They play D6 here. Yep. I'm not gonna cover all the moves, of course. Yeah, Bishop E2 I was not sure about in the game if I should play that move or not. It's playable. I mean, the times it is played, guys, white does win those games 51% of the time. And it gives white here. Bishop D3 was more active. Fair point. I didn't want to go bishop. Well, I guess you can't go here, guys, because the queen just covers that square, of course, right? So, all right, fair point. Maybe this is more active, guys, right here for me. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Yeah, 97's not one of the top moves right here. Yeah, it's not one of the top moves here, but at the master level. And it gives white a more of an advantage right here by playing knight d7, almost a pawn advantage. So it's not the best move here, is what I'm trying to say. Knight f6 was better at the master level. Same thing right here as well too. All right, f4. This is what I want to see, guys. Real quick before I go, was f4 right here essentially. Um, so 30 people have played this move, guys, right here in this particular position. They won a little over half the time. There's no one who has played this position at the master level from this position, essentially. So we're basically out of book at this point. And yet on lead chess, F4's is still thinking right now. Yeah, so F4 right here, it's a move. It still gives me a half pawn advantage right here, but it does allow B5, which they missed. So if I spend more time, guys, studying these games right here, essentially what I would do is I will study the games that white won and see if I can learn something from those games, essentially. Again, it's going to take a long time to kind of go over all these games. You guys are not here for that. You're just here to see the process. But this is what I do, guys, to kind of get better at chess, is kind of do this research right here and all that good stuff right there as well. So I hope you guys learned something here. I know it's a long video, longer than your typical TikTok, right? But I hope you guys at least got some out of this. You were entertained at points. And I'll see you guys soon. So you guys, of course, take care.